Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of New Orleans, a congregation gathered in love since 1833 to seek wholeness and work for justice in the world. I am Margot Anderson, and my pronouns are she and her. If you are a visitor, we invite you to raise your hand so we may greet you. Welcome. Nice to see you all this morning. And also, we would like to ensure that everyone in attendance can hear the service in its entirety. So if you're unable to hear any of the speakers, please wave your hand, and we'll do our best to speak up. Our worship leader today is longtime member Tucker Barker.
Hi, y'all. My name is Tucker. I use they, them pronouns, or he, him. I grew up in this church, and yeah, really excited to be with y'all today.
And now, if you'll all please rise in body or spirit as we light the chalice of our heritage. And join me in reading the words written by former FUUNO minister Marta Valentin that you will find in your order of service, and then join in our sung response following that. Step into the center, come in from the margins. I will hold you here. Don't look out or away. Life is in here, between you and me, in this tiny space where I end and you begin. Hope lives. We kindle this light in celebration of the life we share. And please remain as you are for our opening hymn, O God of Stars and Sunlight, which is number 11 in your gray hymnal. Please be seated. Today, we are pleased to welcome Gabe to offer our Time for All Ages. And while they're coming up, we also welcome any young and young at heart, or young of knees and hips, to join them on the carpet circles in front to be able to see. All right.
Testing. Can everybody hear me? Amazing. Okay, I'm super nervous. I've never done this before. But today we're reading the Knowing book. Now, Rebecca Kai.Lich used to be, and then I gave it to Tucker in a moment when I think we all needed some reminders, right? Because sometimes life gets a little heavy. Sometimes it's really easy to lose perspective, and we're like, well, I don't know anything. I'm super lost. But there are many things that we know, and this book reminds us. So, before you look up. The sky has always been above you, is above you now, will always be above you. Count on it. It is what you will always know. Open a door, follow a trail or a sidewalk or a sign. Any of them will take you somewhere. You will choose. Step one step at a time, and don't ignore a hum, and don't deny a cry. Both are useful, and both are good, and both will comfort you if you are lost. Know this, there is magic around you, but it hides. You might find it nestled in a wand or a spell, but more likely in a penny or a prayer. Be open to it. Sit down on a step or a hill or at the edge of a sea. Take time to imagine something, or let something imagine you. The unknown is waiting. Carry a map as a guide, but explore those trails not drawn on paper. This is called curiosity. This is called adventure. Keep them in your pocket. Run often and fast, towards or away from something. Trust yourself to know which, and trust yourself to know when. By the chanting clocks that hang on walls of dreams. This is called wise, and this is called brave. I know. Pretend you are someone and pretend you are no one. Pretend you are who you long to be, who you would never want to be, and who you can only imagine being. Know that you will be parts of all of these. Don't be busy to slosh in a puddle or fly a kite, or too important to pick up the lost coin or the common shell. These small things are coveted by giants. When you blow a whistle or a bubble or a horn, it is followed by an echo or a pop or a song. Listen, for this is the ballad of your own breathing. The sky holds a wing, a hoot, a chill. Allow the breeze of each to slip through the cracks of your window and into your sleep. And before you forget, look up. The stars have always been above you, are above you now, and will always be above you. You will come upon delicious things and dark things, but all the paths you take will join to lead you home. Count on it. It is what you will always know. The end. Yay. Thank you, everybody.
As we come into our time for sharing communal joys and sorrows, we would like to remember the 15 people who died in New Orleans on the very first day of 2025.
Good morning, y'all. We're going to talk more today about the violent attack in the French Quarter on New Year's Day during the sermon. But we wanted to start by taking a moment to speak the names of the beloved community members that we lost on Wednesday morning. And then we're going to go into the joys and sorrows. Martin Tiger Beck, 27, from New York. Terrence Kennedy, 63, from here. Elliot Wilkinson, 40, from Slidell. William DeMau, 25, from New Jersey. Edward Pettifer, 31, from London, England. One unknown beloved person. Andrew Dauphine, 26, from Montgomery, Alabama. Kareem Dawadi, from Baton Rouge, who was 23. Brandon Taylor, 43, from Harvey. Hubert Goutreau, 21, from Gretna. Matthew Tenedorio, 25, from Picayune, Mississippi. Nakira Dado, 18, from Gulfport, Mississippi. Nicole Perez, 27, from Metairie, Louisiana. Reggie Hunter, 37, from Prairieville, Louisiana. And as complicated as it is to acknowledge both the harm that someone caused and a life lost, Shasim Jin Dabar. I'm going to hand this back to you.
Ours is a welcoming community where we find connection, a spiritual community where we find meaning. Ours is a sharing community where our joys are amplified, and a caring community where our sorrows are lessened. We take this moment, usually on the first Sunday of the month, to reflect on our individual joys and sorrows and acknowledge the mutual support of our community. So anyone who would like may come forward. Usually if you could make a line that way, or come straight up if that's easier, to release a stone in the water in silence or with a brief verbal expression of a special joy or sorrow. While people are thinking about coming up, I'll just share my own joy that Melanie, who had a hip replacement a little before Christmas, is very stoic and doing awfully well with all of her therapies, and she's very hard-headed, so you could not keep her from her therapies.
Mine is a joy. Last month at this time, I told you about my family crisis with my mother. I'm happy to report that my mother's in assisted living. She's happy and she's taken care of, and there's no more drama going on. And I'm so happy that we were able to get through this. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a sorrow for a family member.
I have a joy. We just got back from a week in Mexico and had the just enormous joy of reconnecting with an old friend. And it was as if no time and no space had separated us. So remember your old friends. Connect with them if you haven't talked to them recently. Give them a hug. It feels really good.
I have kind of a complicated joy and sorrow. They're both around my own voice, I guess. So my sorrow is that through reconnecting with my grandmother, which has actually been really lovely, I learned that about 7 generations back, my ancestors owned enslaved people in the Sea Islands in Georgia. And I'm teaching a book on historical fiction book on slavery, and my curriculum head is like not wanting us to really talk about slavery because it will offend the white children that I'm teaching. So that's kind of a sorrow, and I'm mourning kind of the loss of my voice and my agency at my job. A joy is that I will be delivering a sermon next month on kind of my research around how to fight fascism based on the Lutheran Confessing Church in the 1930s. So I'll be able to use my voice then, if not this month.
Mine's a joy. I found you guys, and I'm really connecting to my spirituality for the first time in my life. Thank you.
I have a sorrow for the ways I have failed to show up for my best friend, my wife, who is not here because she works herself to death. And mornings are hard for her, and I wish she could be here. And yeah, my joy is that she forgives me. But that's not enough. It's not. And my sorrow is for the way many, many men take women everywhere for granted and just see them and their labor and their emotional labor as invisible, and my participation and my perpetuation of that.
Mine is a sorrow also. My best friend's brother, Samuel Adubofo, who lived a very vibrant life, died, but the last year of his life he was in a deep depression. And I think that's the worst way to go. I mean, that saddens me more than his death, that he didn't die the live, vibrant man that I knew.
All right, I have a sorrow and a joy all in one, because I get to. My sorrow is that my grandmother has been facing a lot of medical negligence. So it's been really interesting to fight a healthcare system that doesn't really want to take care of its elders. And my joy is that I was back home in Puerto Rico for 2 weeks, and part of it was very hard and in hospitals all the time. And then the other part is I got to run away with my spouse over here. And I got to spend time in my land, on my beaches and on my water. And I got to float alone and really connect with my ancestors. So, it was definitely a 2-for-1 trip, but I'm very grateful for that time.
Thank you for everybody who's shared. And now may we remember those who have spoken, those they have named, and those we hold in silence in our hearts. Let us enter into a time of silence, which we will close by singing together, Voice Still and Small. please remain as you are and join as we read our responsive reading, Beloved Presence, written by Persian lyric poet Shams Uddin Mohammed Hafiz, and found at 607 in your gray hymnal. Cloak yourself in 1,000 ways, still shall I know you, my beloved. I shall salute you in the springing of cypresses and in the sheen of lakes and the laughter of fountains. O beloved presence, more beautiful than all the stars together. You gladden the whole earth and make every heart great.
Gosh, I love that reading. You are the breathing of the world. Wow. Before I get started, I wanted to name, in our joys and sorrows, I didn't have my special paper with me, but I want to also name Thanh Vu, owner of Viet Mai Supermarket, who was killed in a senseless robbery on Wednesday night. Her and her small business have been a staple in the New Orleans East community for the last 30 years. We're navigating some heavy times, y'all. Yeah. But hi, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Shocking violence was inflicted upon our community a mere 3 hours and 15 minutes into the year. I'm not a big social media person, but seeing our community react virtually has been very telling for me. I saw many things. I saw our police superintendent initially assuring the world that most dead or injured people were, quote, locals versus tourists. I saw our future president falsely claiming that the person who committed this violence was an immigrant. I saw the NFL assuring people that the city will be safe for the Super Bowl. The emphasis on these things casts a dark shadow in the same ever-present legacy as Katrina in my head. And I saw so many people checking in on us from all over the country. I'm sure you all experienced similar text messages that I did in the beginning of this year. I saw the lines around the block for blood donation, 3 and 4 hour waits to donate blood. I saw the GoFundMe pages of surviving families quickly meeting their goals, witnessing an outpouring of financial support for survivors. I saw my beloveds sharing videos of the things that they love about New Orleans and the deep strength of our community. As always, violence and tragedy shows us something we have to search for way too often in this life: the helpers, the inherent good of the people around us. I initially thought that this sermon was going to be about learning from our actions in 2024 and creating sustainable New Year's resolutions for 2025. Instead, the events of the last few days have left me reflecting more and more on the violence of this past year, much more so than I thought I would be in the first days of January. When I sit with 2024, I think about watching our local state politicians make huge strides in queer and trans oppression, increased militarism and incarceration, and witnessing them solidify even more anti-Black and racist policies at the legislature. I think about our country sending $12.5 billion with a B dollars and countless weapons of war to Israel in just 12 months. I see the images of Palestinians murdered indiscriminately through my phone. Tent cities, schools, hospitals, and trucks, aid trucks, and places of worship bombed. I see that at least 46,416 Palestinians and the 1,139 people killed in Israel since October 7th of 2023. I think about the 96 Israeli hostages still waiting to return to their families and the 9,440 Palestinian hostages held in Israeli prisons. I think about the fearless reporting of groups like Eye on Palestine, Democracy Now!, Adullah Justice Project, and journalists on the ground like Bisan, Hind, Motaz, Mohammed, Wael, Plastia, and many more who are now gone. I think of the brave work of people like Dr. Hassam Abu Safia and groups like Medical Aid for Palestinians, Gaza Medic Voices, Palestine Red Crescent Society, Jewish Voice for Peace, and Rabbis for Ceasefire. I think of the books and films about the apartheid that have changed my life since 2014, when Jewish allies in my life first sat me down to actually explain the occupation. I've seen things during this genocide that I never ever could have imagined, things that my tax dollars funded. In reflecting on 2024, it's hard to not focus solely on the atrocities happening in the world, if only not to normalize these things for our community. It's not normal, right? It's not normal for our youth in the United States to be dying in shootings at school. This is not normal. It's not normal to wake up to text messages about a mass casualty attack on Bourbon Street. It's not normal for our access to healthcare to be decided by random white cisgender men who are not doctors, or to see my friends navigating long COVID and complex chronic conditions from repeat COVID infections. It's not normal for disabled and sick people to be left behind in a pandemic that is still affecting millions of people, unfortunately, including myself. I believe if all of the pain of the world was the only thing I let myself focus on, my grief would swallow me whole. In 2019, I read a book called Emergent Strategy by Adrienne Marie Brown. I'm seeing some nodding. I love that. When I'm desperately seeking hope, I pick up Adrienne's work. Emergent Strategy was initially based on the adaptive and relational leadership model found in the work of Black science fiction writer Octavia Butler. It evolved into a framework for collective organizing and personal practice that, quote, leverages relatively simple interactions to create complex patterns, systems, and transformations. I'm gonna be honest, I could go on an emergent strategy rant, but I'm not gonna do that in this moment. But just know, it's one of those life-changing books for anyone who cares about movements for justice, which I imagine is all of you. Brown writes, quote, intentional adaptation is at the heart of emergent strategy. How we live and grow and stay purposeful in the face of constant change actually does determine both the quality of our lives and the impact that we can have when we move in action together. At the front of your order of worship, you will see an image of a group of starlings. When they fly in this way, it's called a murmuration. I love this word. I love this word. Feel free to close your eyes for a minute. I'm going to read you a little excerpt from this book about a group of starlings. My dream is a movement with such deep trust that we move as a murmuration, the way groups of starlings billow, dive, spin, and dance collectively through the air, to avoid predators and, it also seems, to pass time in the most beautiful way possible. When fish move in this way, they are shoaling. When bees and other insects move in this way, they are swarming. I love all words for this activity. Here's how it works in a murmuration or shoal or swarm. Each creature is tuned into its neighbors, the creatures right around it in the formation. This might be the birds on either side or the 6 fish in each direction. There is a right relationship, a right distance between them. Too close and they crash, too far away and they can't feel the micro adaptations of each other's bodies. Each creature is shifting direction, speed, and proximity based on the information of the other creature's bodies. There's a deep trust in this, to lift because the birds around you are lifting, to live based on your collective real-time adaptations. In this way, thousands of bird or fish or bees can move together, each empowered with basic rules and a vision to live. Imagine our movements cultivating this type of trust and depth with each other, having strategic flocking in our playbooks. In short, a deeply oversimplified way that I think about Adrian's writings on Murmuration is that social justice movements have always been deeply complex and filled with various decentralized roles. From the creative protester, to the leftist visionary, to the mutual aid provider, to the street medic, to the radical historian, to the child care worker holding it down for parents in the organizing meeting, every win we have had in movement work has been possible because of so many seen and unseen people making brilliant choices in community. When I think about my place in the movement these days, I think about soup. When I was a kid, I was the designated sous chef in our household. If my mom was in the kitchen, I was there too, standing on a little black chair, chopping anything that she would hand me. My mother is nodding, so you know I'm telling the truth. So this time of year, in the cold months, making minestrone was one of my favorite things. I surely hope that all of you are familiar with a bowl of minestrone. But if you're not, it's a beautiful, thick Italian soup. I'd watch my mother pull out the biggest pot we had, cans of tomatoes and beans, tons of soup stock, and my favorite vegetables, and best of all, pasta. We'd cut up the Holy Trinity, prepare the veggies, and spend hours nursing the cauldron. I loved the time to connect with her, enjoying smelling the same aromas generations of my family have created in this very city. And these rituals were pretty foundational in me learning how to cook. As an adult now, I also love remembering the delicious abundance that you can create from the staples in your pantry and a few bucks worth of ingredients, trusting your gut, tasting as you go, and a bit of patience. These days, I have my own soup ritual. Some of y'all know this. I love soup. I make a chicken stew with white beans and most of the same veggies as my mom's minestrone. And yes, there's definitely pasta in there too. For me, the magic comes from the timing of it. I truly pride myself on knowing the ratios for the best soup stock, how long each vegetable needs to simmer to not get too soft, leaving the ditalini on the side to not overcook the pasta in the broth. Y'all see the vision, you know? I love shredding the chicken by hand. I love giving the white beans enough time to soak up the flavor of the stock and seeing the colors floating around each other, the orange of the carrots, the verdant depth of the greens, the brightness of the yellow squash. But you know the best part of making my chicken stew? It's making to-go plates. Whether it's packaged in a former pho container, an oversized mason jar, or a chaotic Ziploc bag, that soup will end up on the porches of people I love. Right now, I can't be the person holding the banner at the protest anymore. Honestly, long COVID has changed that for me. I can't be at the Capitol testifying against every single bad bill for the 2025 legislative session. Again, my grief would swallow me whole. But what can I do? I can make soup. I make good soup. And I can leave it on the porch of my comrades who are doing those things. In 2024, social justice work for me looked more like fundraising for underfunded projects. It's been making art. It's been deepening my relationships and navigating conflict openly. It's been being out in the world and hearing some BS and saying, "What did you say?" And, "Whoa, tell me more about what you mean by that, friend." It looked like getting a new job. It's been reading, brushing up on my history, learning more about global struggles for liberation. It's been taking care of myself, prioritizing alone time, making a skincare routine. What? And taking myself on dates. It's been going to the organizing meeting when I can and encouraging others to go when I can't. It's been wearing a mask in indoor spaces, educating people about the cumulative risks of COVID, and listening to organizers in the disability justice sphere. In 2017, a person named Deepa Iyer created a social change ecosystem map with the Building Movement Project. You might have seen it before. It looks like a beautiful flower. At the yellow center, we see the words equity, liberation, justice, and solidarity. I encourage all of you to take a moment, close your eyes if you're comfortable, and think about this flower with me. The petals branch out into some of the roles that we need in our healthy, thriving social justice ecosystem. They read: frontline responders, visionaries, builders, caregivers, disruptors, healers, storytellers, guides, weavers, and experimenters. I invite you to think about your 2024, or even the last few years. Where were you in the murmuration of starlings effortlessly twisting through the sky? Has your role changed at all compared to previous chapters of your life? Are you starting to think about systems of oppression and just beginning to assess where you fit in this flock of beautiful birds? Where do you think you might best move within this ecosystem in the new year? Feel free to open your eyes. Take a look at the folks around you, the people sitting close and the people sitting far. The members of this congregation are all filling roles in this ecosystem. And aren't you glad to be in that number? Wherever you fit in the magical family of things, I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome to 2025. We need you, and we are forever stronger with your presence. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, Tucker. And now, generosity is a spiritual discipline that we can practice by either placing your offering in the collection plate or using the information on the back of your order of service right here to give electronically. And I'm sorry it didn't make it into the order of service, but today's anthem is Hope, a poem by Emily Dickinson, Cynthia Gray's arrangement. gifts to this community of faith are gratefully received. Let us acknowledge these gifts by reading together the words in your order of service. This gift from the abundance of my life blesses me, our ministries, and the world. Giving in the offering plate and pledging are part of how we steward this congregation. But there are countless other ways to serve, build community, and share our love with the rest of the city and beyond. Here are a few opportunities coming up. There's a procession for Palestine happening tomorrow, January 6th, where folks are gathering at 6 p.m. at the corner of Decatur and Mandeville in the Marigny. Feel free to connect with Tucker after the service if you're interested in going collectively. Next Sunday, January 12th, a group of after-church lunchgoers are planning to meet up at the Carrollton, Louisiana Pizza Kitchen. All are welcome, and those interested can see Linda Wren with any questions. Joe Banner from the Descendants Project came to our Memorial Labyrinth Walk in Audubon Park yesterday and let us know about two major events honoring the 1811 German Coast Uprising that are coming up this week in Laplace and Wallace. You'll find information about both events on a flyer at the back of the sanctuary on the bulletin board that you could take a picture of, or on the Descendants Project Facebook page. Folks who appreciated Joe's service in November about their project's work in racial and environmental justice in the river parishes might be especially interested to attend. January 6th, on Wednesday at 6:30, there'll be a panel discussion on the revolt's enduring impact on resistance, memory, and the struggle for freedom. And on, thank you so much, yes. Oh gosh, these glasses need updating. Thank you, Linda. Yes, Wednesday is January 8th, and that's the anniversary of the start of the revolt. It was a 3-day revolt. And on Saturday, January 11th, you can celebrate the opening of a special pre-exhibit at Woodland with a commemoration ceremony, open house, and community lunch. Folks who are attending the Gillespie breakfast next week may want to consider carpooling after that event. And I'll now ask Brad Ott if he's made it for the Gillespie breakfast. Okay, so sorry, there's not a spotlight announcement, but there will be a Gillespie breakfast next Saturday, which is the 11th. And our own Melissa Gamble will be presenting about grief. I'm so sorry, I didn't write it down. Does anyone want to shout out the title? Anyone remember the title? Oh, you can look on the back. There's a flyer in the back. There are multiple. Take one home with you. I certainly will. And now, if you could please stand in body or spirit and join in our chalice extinguishing, which is also in your order of worship.
Our goal is tending to our collective faith, fostering community for care and healing.
Thank you, Jody. We'll look forward to that. And let's now extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Please remain as you are. For our closing hymn, we will rise together. The words are in your order of service. Each verse is only slightly different. We will rise, we will sing, we will dance, we will shout. Just wanted to share with y'all, in researching for the music of this service, I learned more about the story behind this song. We Will Rise Together was commissioned by the Oak Ridge UU Church of Tennessee and was dedicated to Rex Brenner. Rex's daughter, a member of the congregation and choir, supported this dedication as Rex lived as a closeted gay man for most of his life. Only toward the end of his life did he feel that he could reveal his full self to his community. We sing this song in honor of Rex and all those who seek truth and work to tell it boldly.
We will rise together, you and I, rise together.
May we move boldly in 2025. May we honor our needs, stretch in new ways, and expand the murmuration of our vibrant social justice ecosystem here in New Orleans and beyond. Amen.